Mickeeley.
Hello everyone, I'm Xavier.
And welcome to Steeped in Lore, where we sip tea, spill stories, and steep ourselves in the legends whispered through the mountains. Today, we are diving into one of the most bizarre, fearsome, and deeply tangled legends in the mid-Atlantic region of the United States, the Snallygaster.
Snallygaster, what is that?
That's a really good question because honestly, it is one of the most bizarre. It's a cryptid, but it's like one of the most bizarre cryptids that I've ever heard of.
Bizarre?
Yeah. So.
Does it look ugly?
It looks. I would be terrified if I saw it, yes.
Oh, okay.
So, what are we sipping on today?
Well, today we're drinking the Sugar Detox Organic by Fuquay Spice and Tea Company.
Yeah, so we're not going to be drinking the same tea every episode, but this Fuquay, I believe it's pronounced Fuquay.
Fuquay.
It's actually a small business based in a town in North Carolina, which it's Fuquay something, but I can't remember the other part of it. It's like 3 hours away, 2.5, 3 hours away from us. But this one actually has hibiscus, peppermint, licorice, lavender, chamomile, and valerian root. Yeah.
Valerian root.
Valerian root.
I don't really know how to pronounce it.
If you haven't learned by now, I don't know how to pronounce anything, apparently. So, I don't know. It tastes really good. I am the type of person where, like, I have to mix honey in my tea. Like, regardless, I can't drink just herbal tea without honey. But it's, like, this beautiful, like, pinky red color. It's really good.
Well, some of the teas I drink, I mix lemon juice.
Oh,
or
lemon
orange.
juice? Yeah.
Makes it taste a little better.
Yeah, I don't. I just put honey. Local honey. Anyway, so are you ready to talk about the Snallygaster?
Oh, well, let's dive into it.
Okay. So, the Snallygaster, this is like the most bizarre thing ever. It's part dragon. This is how it's described, okay?
Okay.
It's described as being part dragon.
Part dragon?
Part bird.
What?
Part, I don't know. Apparently when it opens its beak, because, okay, so let me just paint the visual for you here. Basically, it's like a dragon's body, right? So it's got the 4 legs. It has claws, like really sharp talons. It has like a dragon tail. But then the head, instead of it being like a dragon head, it's like a bird head. So it has a beak, but it only has one eye. Just one eye smack in the middle.
No, I don't know.
That's not even the creepiest thing. The creepiest thing is the tentacles. Because when it opens its mouth, its beak, instead of just having like a normal tongue, like a bird or dragon, it has tentacles.
Tentacles?
Yeah, tentacles. So this dragon bird tentacle
looking
creature has haunted the forest and mountains and the imaginations of folks in and around Frederick County, Maryland for like 300 years.
300 years?
Yeah. But behind the monster is a strange tangle of myth, moonshine, racism, and newspaper hoaxes. So let's just go all the way back to the beginning. Let me take a sip of tea because this is about to be like, oh, it's about to be a story, okay?
Well, I'm already freaked out. The way you describe it sounds like...
Yeah, look up,
it's a
like,
complete nightmare.
Look up an image of it. So, the Snallygaster begins with early German settlers in the 1700s. These immigrants brought with them old world beliefs and spirits, monsters, and creatures of the woods, okay? So it's like the early 1700s, people from Germany are coming over, they're settling in the Maryland, the Frederick area, and this is really when this creature starts being talked about here. So one of the legends was of a spirit known as, this is a German phrase, Snallygeist?
Snallygeist?
Snallygaster,
So
something like that.
That's how it gets its name?
Yeah, so essentially that is a German phrase, like a German legend, that translates to quick ghost or fast spirit. But essentially it's a creature that was so swift and so dangerous, it couldn't be stopped. So, okay, remember, this is from Germany. This is coming over with German settlers. That's going to come back. I'm going to bring that back up in a little bit. But over time, as, you know, when you come to America, to the United States as an immigrant, eventually you begin speaking English and words start morphing, and that's how we get a lot of slang. Well, over time, the mispronunciation and local dialects transformed the German phrase Snallygeist into something stranger, Snallygaster.
Snallygaster. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, the settlers, you know, in the 1700s, 1800s, they believed that this creature actually lived in the caves of South Mountain in Maryland.
Oh.
So,
not South Mountain here?
No,
North
not
Carolina?
South Mountain here.
Okay, because that's like 30 minutes away from there.
So, the South Mountains, it lives in caves in the South Mountain in Maryland. So, like I said earlier, it's one-eyed, it's a winged beast with a sharp beak, claws like steel hooks, and sometimes tentacles that shot from its mouth. Okay? Like a tongue. Like a bunch of little tongues. It flew overhead, so they would see it like flying in the night, and it would swoop down and snatch up any like small animals. So chickens, like lambs, smaller livestock, but also children.
Oh.
According to the legend. Like, it got to the point where farmers were so scared of the Snallygaster that they would begin to paint hex stars on their barns. So you know how barns have, like, the stars on them? It was a way to ward off the Snallygaster, to protect the farm. And it was said that if you saw the Snallygaster, it was already too late. You were going to be dinner for the Snallygaster.
That sounds really terrifying.
Yeah, so needless to say, these farmers were legitimately terrified.
I will be too.
Yeah.
I mean, who wouldn't?
I know, right? Like, could you imagine, like, sitting in your farmhouse and the year is, like, 1792, and you hear, like, a shriek, and you look out your kitchen window, and there's, like, this dragon bird creature monster, like, snatching up, like, a chicken or a baby cow.
I wouldn't know what to do.
I would be so traumatized. I would never leave my house again.
I would move, but I don't know if that would help the situation.
I mean, maybe. Since it's only... I didn't see any, like, reports of it being seen anywhere else other than, like, this localized area. But you would not catch me out my house. Ever. Ever. So, the legend didn't stay in whispered stories because in 1909, things escalated, and they escalated very, very fast because suddenly major newspapers in that area were running wild with stories about the Snallygaster. 1909. That was like 16 years ago.
So they were seeing this creature?
That's what they were claiming.
Oh.
So, okay, let's talk about the newspapers because this had me so heated, and there's no way for me to preface this, so we're just going to go right into it. So, on February 12th, 1909, which is the same day that the NAACP was founded, the Valley Register, which is like a newspaper in the area, published a honestly racist and sensational article that was titled "The Colored People Are in Great Danger." The colored people are in great danger. That was the article of this newspaper report. So, in this article, it claimed that a man named Bill Jefferson, I believe it's pronounced, who was an African-American male, had been killed by the Snallygaster. That his blood was drained from his neck like a vampire. Like a vampire had drained his blood. That's how Bill was reportedly found. And there was even an eyewitness named James Harding, and this is how he described the beast, okay? Like, this is a direct quote. He described the beast as, quote, having enormous wings, a long pointed bill, 4 legs armed with claws like steel hooks, 1 eye in the center of its forehead, and it screeches like a locomotive whistle, end quote. So like a train whistle.
I don't know how to picture it.
Like,
do you have an idea what it looks like, or?
Yeah, I have a very vivid image in my head.
I can't picture it myself right now, because
I don't even know what's worse. Like, obviously being able to fly and like having the claws, but something about it only having 1 eye.
That's terrifying, ain't it?
It's just creepy. Like, that just makes it even more creepier. And then screeching like a train whistle. Have you heard a train whistle?
Choo choo. Like
No.
that? No.
Done. Okay, if this half dragon, half bird, half whatever, like landed in front of me and was like looking all creepy and it said choo choo, I would just bust out laughing. Like, I don't even think I'd be scared at that point.
I just came to my mind.
It's kind of like a tea kettle in a sense, like a very, very, very loud tea kettle.
Like
when
a tea
it
kettle when it whistles?
Yeah, that's that on steroids is what it sounds like. But yeah, just hearing that would be enough to make me.
I would think you go deaf, don't you think?
I would probably drop dead with a heart attack, to be completely honest with you. So, okay, so this article comes out February 12th, 1909, saying that this man named Bill, who was an African American man, was killed by this creature, drained of all his blood, and that's what the eyewitness James Harding described the beast as. So this news article, it wasn't just fear-mongering about a monster. The article deliberately targeted black communities, saying that the Snallygaster, quote, only attacks colored people. Because supposedly, according to this news article, the Snallygaster monster originated from a place called Senegambia.
Where's that at?
Nowhere.
Nowhere?
It's made up. It's fake. It's a fictional African region that does not exist.
Kind of like Wakanda?
Sure. So, remember, I said at the beginning, the Snallygaster came from Germany, with the German settlers. But this news article, which is in 1909, like some 200-ish years after the German settlers or roundabouts, is claiming that this creature came from some made-up name in Africa. So, because it was from this supposed African region, the news article said, quote, it has never acquired a taste for white persons, end quote.
I think they just made that up.
Oh, they 100% did. Because it didn't, like, that wasn't the only lie. The news article also says that the hide of the beast, like, if you were to hunt down this beast and kill it, the hide, its skin, would be worth $100,000 per square foot. So, like, if you was to kill the Snallygaster, you was about to become rich. Like, rich. And supposedly, it was that expensive because it was the only substance that could polish punctal shells of an African tribe from Umboland. Again, this is all lies. There's no such thing as punctal shells. There's no African tribe of Umboland. So not only have they made up an African region where the monster supposedly came from, not only are they saying that it only eats black people, not only are they saying this is the only material on the world that can polish punctal shells, they also made up another fake tribe, African tribe.
How do they come up with these names? How did they come up with them?
Literally, like, trying to, like, read these names, I'm like, this is like Dr. Seuss. Like, what?
Dr. Seuss?
Like, Bopeland?
Bopeland.
It's like, Bopeland. Like...
That just sounds silly to me.
It just... Okay, is it silly? Yes. But at the same time, like... That's just so fucked up. That is so fucked up.
The whole thing is fucked up.
The whole thing is, like, insane to me.
I'm just really intrigued by the way they describe the beast. Because I don't...
Yeah. So, apparently, the reason that this article was made is because, you know, after the slaves were emancipated and black people were able to live freely, and eventually when they started to be able to, like, vote and get involved in politics, the black people of that community would vote for the Republicans. But then at some point, the Republicans weren't really, you know, holding up their end of the bargain. They weren't really bettering the lives of the black people in the community. And so the black people started leaning more towards the Democrats. And so as a way to control the population of black people, the white Republicans decided to put this in the news, in the papers. It's 100% racist, and it's literally just a way to control people.
I mean, it's racist, but at the same time, that's really, I don't know, funny, I guess. I mean, not funny, it's just the names that they made up.
Yeah. It definitely feels like, it's just so childish. Like, I don't know, grow up. Anyway, continuing on. So, the Smithsonian, which, do you know what that is? The big, like, research. It's kind of like National Geographic, but, like, the Smithsonian. I believe it's, like, actually a museum. It's, like, a really big, like, higher education. Like, you have to, like, basically have, like, a PhD to work at the Smithsonian. But anyway, so the Smithsonian is, like, this big, like, I don't know how to describe it. I should have looked up, like, its actual whatever it is. But the Smithsonian was said to want the Snallygaster captured and brought to them alive to be able to research it. But the government supposedly wanted it dead. And there was even talk about how the government was planning to use a Gatling gun.
A Gatling gun?
Yeah, to, like, hunt it down, bring it down, shoot it down. It was even rumored that the president at the time, Roosevelt, canceled a hunting trip in Africa to be able to come to Maryland to hunt the Snallygaster down itself. But, of course, that was, like, never confirmed. So, regardless, it was all made up anyway. None of it was true. There were no Punkle shells. There were no Bopeland. There was no official government hunting party. It was literally just an elaborate racist hoax. And it didn't stop there, because that's not the end of the story. Because a week later, so a week after this article was published, another article appeared in a newspaper describing the creature abducting the, quote, only black man in Casstown, Ohio. So now we've went from Maryland to Ohio. And in Ohio, which is not even where the Snallygaster lives, apparently it flew to that town in Ohio and abducted the only black man in that town.
So they're saying that this creature only haunt black people.
Yes.
It will only eat black people.
Because remember, supposedly it's from Africa. And because it's from Africa...
That's the reason why.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Man, people have enough time to come up with the dumbest shit.
So, another account... It's like, honestly, it's so mind-blowing to me how many newspaper articles was written about this. Like, it honestly blows my mind. But another account told of the beast drinking 100 gallons of boiling water. Okay, of boiling water, exclaiming, this is a quote. This person is saying that the Snallygaster said, quote, "My, I'm dry. I haven't had a good drink since I was killed in the Battle of Chickamauga."
My? That's what the creature sounded like? Is that what it is?
No, not mate.
Oh,
my. Like,
my.
oh,
Oh.
my.
Oh, I thought you said mate. Okay.
No, like, oh my god. Like, usually we would say,
my.
oh my god. No, basically, it was, like, this dude quoted him, the Snallygaster, saying that he hadn't had a good drink since he was killed in the Battle of Chickamauga. I don't know. I probably butchered that. Essentially, what this is saying is that the Snallygaster was a reincarnated spirit of a Confederate soldier that died in battle fighting the Civil War. And as it reincarnated into this monster, it was terrorizing the black communities.
So this is another theory?
This is what one person claims that the Snallygaster said. Now, my thing is I just don't see the Snallygaster as, like, this creature that you would just kind of hang around and watch it drink 100 gallons of water. If I see anything drinking some boiling water, I'm out. If I see a dragon bird creepy looking thing, I'm out. Like, I'm not going to hang around for it to drink 100 gallons of water and then...
Boiling water?
Yeah. And then talk to me.
He was probably thirsty.
I mean, yeah, clearly. Very, very clearly.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
If I just sip a little bit of boiling water, it's gonna burn me.
Yeah. So, whether it was meant as satire or a hoax or hate speech, these stories very much so reflected the deep racism of the region and the time period because they were sold in newspapers. Like, this isn't like some like random TikTok person. Like, this is like actual newspapers. Like, people were paid to write these stories. It just blows my mind.
And you know what's funny? People actually went along with these stories.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you there were like
they believed it 100%.
Die-hard supporters of these stories probably. So, okay, all of that happened in February. Fast forward a little bit to March of 1909. Things went from bizarre to just freaking explosive because the Register, which again is a newspaper, reported that a sheriff's deputy named Norman Hoke and several locals had fought the Snallygaster for 90 minutes.
They fought the creature?
Yes, like a sheriff's deputy, a police officer, a cop, and two local men, apparently fought this monster for 90 minutes.
How did that go for them?
Okay, so here is a quote from the news article. It says, "The monster seized Brown," who is like one of the local men. "The monster seized Brown and was about to fly off with him when Bill Snyder, the other local man, dashed up in his automobile, grabbed Brown by the foot, which broke his suspenders, and he dropped to the ground. Ghost-like wings beat the air, and fire singed the pike. It looked like a giraffe on roller skates. Its beak was serrated with great tusks, and between them lay the partially consumed flesh of a colored man, nearly putrid. Its snout resembled a silo." End quote. So let's just dissect that. So you have the sheriff's deputy, Norman Hoke, and then you have the two local men, Brown and Snyder. So according to this account from one of the men, the monster had like grabbed Brown and was like about to fly off. Like this man is in the claws of this monster, and Snyder pulls up in a car, grabs Brown by the foot as the monster's trying to fly away with him. When he grabs him by the foot, it broke his suspenders and Brown fell to the ground.
So the creature just flew away?
Supposedly.
And took the man?
No, the man fell.
The man fell?
Yeah. When the guy in the car grabbed him by the foot, his suspenders broke and somehow fell. I guess the Snallygaster only had him by the suspenders. I don't know. That would be the only way that made sense to me. So none of them got killed by the Snallygaster, but this was like, again, in the newspaper. This is like a police officer is supposedly fighting this thing, and they fight it for 90 minutes until it finally goes into a different county. Now, there's no reports that I saw of the other county saying anything about the Snallygaster.
So you're saying the man won the fight, and the creature just flew off?
Apparently, yeah.
Oh.
But did you notice that they made sure to say Its beak was serrated with great tusks, and between them lay the partially consumed flesh of a colored man, nearly putrid.
Of course.
Again.
The same thing.
Again. Less obvious, but again, we noticed. So, over the top, absolutely. But people believed it. People literally, this is literally 113 years ago, which kind of seems like a long time, but at the same time it doesn't. But people believed this.
That's insane. I mean, some people believe pretty much anything. I mean,
right. It blows my mind. So, some people speculated that the moonshiners were actually behind all of this, behind the resurrection of the Snallygaster and everything else. Because essentially the moonshiners are in the mountains distilling moonshine. It's like this is during the Prohibition time.
Did that creature drink moonshine?
Actually, we're gonna get there.
I mean, it'll be like drinking boiling water.
Yeah, we're
not much difference.
Just you wait. Okay, so the moonshiners were the behind it. So some people say that the moonshiners brought back up the Snallygaster, that they basically revived that cryptid, that legend, to keep people out of the mountains, to keep people out of the hills, to cover up their illegal steals. Like, if people believe there's a creature roaming around in the forest, they're not going to go out there looking. So, it was a way to cover up their moonshine.
So it was more like protection?
They were protecting themselves.
Protecting themselves?
Yeah. Because people believed that the Snallygaster was real, so people obviously weren't going to go looking for the Snallygaster. So, you know, and it really worked in their favor, because if you think about it, most of them are distilling their moonshine at night when the Snallygaster is going to be hunting, and like the booming stills at night would make noises. So that could explain like that screeching, that whistle sound that they heard, and thinking that it was actually the Snallygaster. So from the moonshiner's perspective, it was a really smart way to keep people from finding out what they were doing.
And you gotta keep the business running.
I mean,
even if you gotta use a cryptid creature.
And this was in the Prohibition, where alcohol was illegal too. So it makes sense. So, okay. 1909 is when all of that craziness happened, okay? By 1932, which is what, 20-some years later, 23 years later? 23 years later, the newspapers again erupt with Snallygaster fever. Sightings just start pouring in. Newspapers start publishing them, and it just goes crazy all over again.
Oh, Lord. What did they say this time? So
this time, a man named Charles Maine, who was an ice cream entrepreneur from Middletown, which is, you know, in that Frederick County. Charles Maine says that he saw the creature. And he describes the creature as, quote, its wing spread appeared to be between 12 and 14 feet. At times, it threw out long streamers from the arms, like the arms of an octopus, and would draw them in again. Essentially saying, like, when it spreads its wings from wingtip to wingtip is like 12 to 14 feet, which is huge. And then also saying that when it opens its beak, the tentacles, like an octopus, comes out, and then he would just draw them back in again and close his beak.
So people are describing the beast looking different? Or
no, I mean,
pretty much the same?
Yeah, pretty much the same. You know, the tentacles were reported in one of the earlier sightings. So Charles Maine claims to have seen the beast. And then also 2 boys say that they saw a strange creature while they were playing outside. But when they saw the creature, instead of like staying around to investigate, they ran home.
I would run too.
I would too. But again, remember the original thing said that the original newspaper report said that the Snallygasters only ate black people. And if you've noticed, all of the people who are giving these accounts of, like, what the Snallygaster says, what it looks like, they're all white people. So...
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
They just made that up.
Yeah. So, essentially, this began to, like, divide the town itself into those who had been, quote, snallygasted and those who hadn't. Like, there were so many reports of seeing the Snallygaster that you were either considered snallygasted if you had seen the Snallygaster.
Do you want to be snallygasted?
I would prefer not to, actually.
No, I kind of do.
You want to be snallygasted?
Am I manifesting it?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I don't want to be snallygasted.
That's your call. If you want to be snallygasted, I'm sure you can go to Maryland. Don't manifest him here, though. So, there was actually, in November of 1932, according to a newspaper called the Baltimore Sun, apparently the Snallygaster had met its fate and was killed.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, allegedly, the Snallygaster had fallen into a 2,500-gallon vat of boiling moonshine on a Baltimore County farm.
So that's how the creature got killed?
Supposedly. So, conveniently, there were federal prohibition officers, like, basically a special force to, like, attack, you know, people that were making alcohol during the Prohibition. Apparently, they go out to this farm and see the Snallygaster inside this huge vat of moonshine, of whiskey mash. And they decided, instead of, like, you know, taking pictures, maybe, like, pulling it out to research it, instead of, like, having the confirmation to show everyone that the creature was in fact alive, was alive and is now dead, to calm everyone's fears, instead they just blew up the still. They took 500 pounds of dynamite and blew up the skeletal remains of the creature and the actual still itself. Because the officer claimed that the mash, like the stuff that was inside this, like, huge barrel of moonshine, so that the mash was actually mixed with lye, sodium hydroxide, like the stuff that you make soap with. Yeah. And because of that, it had eaten away all of the creature's flesh. Which, again, like, how do you know that's the Snallygaster then?
How did he end up in the first place? How did he end up in the mash?
Doesn't say. It just says that the officers claimed that the mash had eaten away its flesh and there was nothing but bones left. And when they saw that, instead of taking a picture or taking the bones out, they just decided to blow it up.
They didn't want people to see the
the
evidence, or creature death?
Here's, like, the 15th coincidence so far. Because just months after these people claimed to have blown up the Snallygaster, Prohibition ended.
Oh. Wow. Makes you think now.
So it's, like, crazy because I've never heard, and maybe there is another case, you know, I don't know everything, but I've never heard of this, like, cryptid legend that then gets turned into, like, fear-mongering to control a set of people, but also is used as a way to cover up illegal activities. Like, it just, like, blows my mind. Like, I don't know, like, I've never heard of anyone using Bigfoot that way, or, like, a chupacabra, or, you know, I don't know.
So they were waiting for the creature to die to end Prohibition, basically.
No, I don't know if they were waiting on it to die to end Prohibition, but I think it's very, very coincidental that when they blew it up, a few months later, Prohibition ended. And the moonshiners were using the legend of the Snallygaster to basically cover up that they were making alcohol. Yeah. But regardless,
I'm sure the creature had a few sips of moonshine.
I mean, yeah, probably did. And that's not even the end of the Snallygaster legend, because today you can actually attend the Snallygaster Beer Festival in Washington, D.C. So this is kind of like just a cheeky nod to the creature that was once blamed for terror and death and chaos all across, the Baltimore County, apparently. Even Ohio, where that one man was said to have been snatched up.
So they have this festival every year?
Yeah, it's every year. It's a beer festival. And I also saw that there was an ice cream flavor named after the Snallygaster, like in the area, like in that specific area.
Ice cream.
And there was something else. There was beer, ice cream, and something else that I can't remember now.
What's the flavor of the ice cream? I want to know.
I don't remember. It was like, I remember seeing something about like cookies in it. I'll have to look it up. Yeah, I should have. Of course you would want to know that. I should have looked that up. But yeah.
I want to go for the beer.
I mean, yeah, that would be cool. I think it's in October, if I remember correctly.
In the fall?
Yeah. So, anyway. What was the Snallygaster? I have no idea. It was a monster born of German folklore, and then it was a ghost of a Confederate soldier, and then it was, a way for racists to control people. It was a smokescreen for illegal moonshiners. I don't know. Maybe it was all of the above. Maybe it was none. But here's what we know. For more than 200 years, people in Maryland feared something in the woods. Regardless of what this actually was or is, people were terrified of it.
Now, has it been any recent reports here lately about this creature, or?
I don't know. I couldn't find any. I looked and looked, and maybe it's because there's like Snallygaster is like a festival now. But when I was trying to look, because I wanted to know, because Mothman, there's still sightings of like Mothman. Like people still go looking for Mothman in West Virginia, but I don't know. I couldn't find anyone that had claimed to see the Snallygaster. Do I think that the Prohibition officers like really blew it up? Absolutely not. I don't buy that for a second.
That's insane.
Yeah. So, whether you believe it or not, the Snallygaster is real and the only way folklore ever needs to be. It was seen, it was believed, it was feared, it made newspaper articles, and it still lives on in story.
Yeah, this is crazy right here.
Yeah. So, anyway, thanks for sipping and steeping with me today. If you liked this episode, please leave a review. It really, really helps the podcast. You can follow us wherever you're listening to this. Subscribe. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at SteepedinLorePodcast. And if by some chance you or your parents or grandparents encountered the Snallygaster, or maybe you have another story that you want to share, write us. You can send it to our email, SteepedinLorePodcast@gmail.com.
Oh man, I would love to see some evidence about this creature.
I would just love to hear more stories. More stories that weren't written in the newspaper,
Well, now I'm gonna have nightmares.
So, anyway, whether it's about the Snallygaster or just something else spooky, creepy, or weird, send us your own story so that you can be featured on the podcast. And until next time, stay curious, sip something warm, and beware of what flies over the mountains at night.